Hi everyone, this is my informative speech for public speaking. So, we all know about the seven wonders of the New World, but I'm sure maybe you guys are like me and have never heard of the seven wonders of the ancient world. They are actually located all around the world, obviously, just like the new ones. And it begins with the Great Pyramid of Giza, and then it goes to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, and then there's the Colossus of Rhodes, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, and then the last three are the Temple of Artemis, the statue of Zeus at Olympia, and last is the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. I've taken two humanities classes and I've learned about all of these in all of my books. I've never actually knew that they were the seven wonders of the ancient world, but I've learned about them, I've studied them, I've written papers on them. So I've got a plethora of information about each one of them. The relevance is it's always interesting to know what it was like back then and learn about all the architecture, and it's always a good thing and a positive thing to learn new things about history, ancient times, what was around back then. I will talk about each wonder of the ancient world and give a little background information on each one as well. So the first one is the Great Pyramid of Giza, and they are actually still standing today. The biggest one, Khufu, was actually built after an emperor, and it was built between 2700 and 2500 BC, and that is according to History.com. It was the biggest pyramid that was ever built, and it took 250 years to complete. I know, it's crazy. I couldn't do it. There was I read in my humanities book, it took over 300,000 men to build it, I think. Also, since it's the biggest pyramid ever built, I thought this was pretty interesting. It took modern man until the 19th century to build a taller structure, and that's according to History.com as well. And according to Mark Milmore, it's actually 481 feet tall. So it's a pretty big structure. Another structure that isn't quite as tall as the Great Pyramid, but is another wonder of the ancient world, is the Lighthouse of Alexandria, which is actually located near the city of Alexandria, Egypt. Most modern-day scholars believe that the lighthouse was about 380 feet tall, but I've read different articles and I've read in my humanities books, and there's just been contradictions of how tall it actually was. It was completed around 270 BC, according to Lee Christek, and it was gradually destroyed by earthquakes from 956 to 1323 BCE. What I found interesting was reading about the Lighthouse of Alexandria was that after it was destroyed and everything, divers went down there and they actually found some remains of it, and they are actually located, I think it's in the British Museum, but I'm not 100% positive about that. And then continuing on, my favorite wonder of the ancient world is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which was located in modern-day Iraq. It was built around 600 BC, according to History.com, and it was destroyed by an earthquake in the 2nd century BC. It was 400 feet in length and 70 feet high, and that's according to softscholars.com. And what I've read at different sources was that it's been 500 miles in length, and it's been the walls were 80 feet thick, but I've never found an actual measurement except for these two, which have been consistent in most sources. One interesting fact is the Statue of Liberty was actually inspired by one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, which is Colossus of Rhodes. It was completed around 280 BCE, and it stood for 60 years until an earthquake took it down. It stood the same height as the Statue of Liberty, and according to NYC Trips, it's 151 feet from base to torch, and that's how tall the Statue of Liberty was. The statue of the Colossus of Rhodes was that tall as well, and if you count the base into the Statue of Liberty, it's 305 feet tall, and if you count the base of the Colossus of Rhodes, and it's 305 feet tall too. So I thought that was pretty interesting. One of the not so popular wonders of the ancient world is the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, which is located in what is today now Turkey. It was built around 353 BC, and that's according to History.com. And it was 130 feet high, 35 feet high, and made entirely of white marble. And I read that the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, it was made entirely of white marble, but on the inside there were like statues of like solid gold in there and everything. So that was pretty interesting. This wonder of the ancient world was actually destroyed and restored many times. The Temple of Artemis was located in modern-day Turkey, and it's not the first of its kind. Like I said, it's been destroyed and restored many times. It was built around 550 BC and 350 BC, and it burned down in 356 BC, according to History.com. They said that they couldn't find any, like, remains of it or anything, so they're assuming that it burned down. It was 420 feet long and made entirely of marble. The last wonder of the ancient world is the statue of Zeus at Olympia, which was located in today's Istanbul. It was built around 430 BCE and destroyed in 426 CE in a fire. And that's according to Britannica.com. I don't know how to pronounce that. It was 40 feet tall, according to History.com, and the statue of Zeus, I learned that in humanities, it was so tall that it almost touched the ceiling where it was located. And I learned that, like in ancient times, there was like a little chariot or something that would sit like in the middle of it, and at certain times of the day it would just like float up, like there were no strings or anything, but they say that it was because of like the lead or something that was in it. So that one was very interesting to me to learn about in humanities. Although the 7 wonders of the New World are massive and structured pretty awesome, these 7 wonders of the ancient world would have been much more magnificent to see to me. I mean, I would love to go see the wonders of the 7 wonders of the New World, but I would really like to go see the 7 wonders of the ancient world. All the wonders include massive structure and designs that cannot be found anywhere today. They are unique, one of a kind. I want all of you to really think about the wonderful things that the world brings to you and all the history behind it. It can make a difference if you ever decide to travel the world, or it may help you in a simple way, like another class, like for me, like humanities. So that was my speech on the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Thank you.